Hi, Edith.
Hiya.
How you doing?
I'm really good. Nice to see you both.
You
Hello.
too. You too.
Yeah, sorry it's not in person. But we got a
Yeah.
hug. We got a hug last time we saw
We
each other,
did.
which was great. Yeah,
We
which was
did.
great. Yeah. Um, let's start on adolescence and just once again, congratulations on this exceptional piece of drama and storytelling, and it's so much actually. It's kind of it feels like once it's available for people to watch, it's going to encourage a lot of conversation, which I guess is all you can really ask for, I think, sometimes with a piece of drama like this. Was that something you thought about, Stephen, with the original, idea on writing this with Jack?
Definitely. Yeah, that you've hit the nail on the head. That was our overall objective. Do you know what
Mm.
I mean? If I'm really honest, the objective was to create conversation at home. Jack calls the telly the empathy box, which is a wonderful word for it. Do you know what I mean? And everyone has them in the living room. And today we can watch devices in so many different ways. You know what I mean? We watch telly and entertainment these ways through so many different ways. But predominantly you have an opportunity to come into look, and ultimately it's entertainment. Don't get me wrong, and spaceships and all that, and explosions and everything that's their own place. Do you know what I mean? Someone in a block of flats killing 75 fellas with kung fu kicks and all that. It's all great. Yeah, it's great. It's entertainment. Um, but then in the same respect, sometimes we have an obligation as artists, as
Yeah.
people, to be able to shine a light on certain things that are happening within our society and put a little mirror up to yourself and have a little look and go, oh wow, okay, yeah. So this was a wonderful opportunity to do that.
Well, it's something that you've done, throughout your career. I'm thinking back to that time where I sat and tried to you about help, as well, in terms of how that
Yes.
was kind of something similarly that just really addressed something that everybody was either going through or could see people going through, but nobody was really talking about it in the way that that show did.
hmm Oh, thank you. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna be dead honest. I've made a conscious decision to do that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's the work that really excites me.
Yeah.
Human beings are complex characters. And for me, as an actor, to be given the opportunity to play those roles is a dream. Because there's, like I said, no disrespect. There's lots of two-dimensional characters out there and there's lots of entertainment out there, which is great. And I love it. It's escapism and it's
Mm.
and it's fantastic. But for me personally, there's just a different draw. I really, yeah, I like to, we get to create a construct of a human being, which is unbelievable. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
many people get to do that apart from Frankenstein? Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a joyous experience, and sometimes the stuff, really, if I'm honest, you know what I mean. The stuff that got me interested in drama when I was young, the likes of Boys from the Black Stuff or Alan Clark's fantastic work. Do you know what I mean? They were the kind of things that I watched, and I was like, wow, they're the
Yeah.
kind of stories I want to be able to tell.
Mm.
It's funny. I was thinking about that today. We're talking to someone about those kind of films that really, or those stories that really made an impact on you. And I was like a kid who was kind of left to my own devices. My mom and dad were working all the time. Do you know what I mean? So I would kind of dig into their video collection, kind of probably watching things younger than I should have. So weirdly, there's things like The Deer Hunter and Kramer and versus Kramer that are
Mm.
two films that really just resonate with me. That to this day still kind of God, I can feel myself almost welling up thinking about them in terms of the impact they had on me then, and kind of how they still are almost kind of within me in a way. Those
Yeah,
things are
Mm.
important, aren't they?
massively,
Yeah.
and not just to pick up on that point. Sorry, just to pick up on that point. When I was 14, and I said to me, Dad, we lived in the flats, and I said, I think I really want to do this acting properly. And he was like, Are you sure? And I was
Mm.
like, Yeah, I really want to give it a proper go. And he was like, Okay, come at them. I was like, Where are we going? He's like, Get your coat. And we went to video shop,
Yeah.
and he got three films. I've told this before. He got three films. We got The Deer Hunter, Taxi Driver, and The Godfather. And we went, and it was like, and you got, I think it was like £3 for the weekends. You got to
Yeah.
keep them
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
days or something like that. You know what I mean? And that was on a Friday. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. It was like Friday evening, and we went to Chippy. I think I got chips,
Sausage
barbecue.
dinner.
No, I didn't get a sausage dinner. I got
Chips and
chips
curry
with
sauce.
no,
Yeah, yeah,
no, I
yeah.
got chips. No, we had a proper chippy up there, a Chinese chippy. I
Yeah.
got chips and barbecued spare ribs.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then went home and we watched those three films and we watched them twice over that weekend. And that was
Wow.
my education and my beginning
Mm,
of the love affair I had for film.
mm.
Have you told De Niro that story?
I haven't,
Have
no.
you
You might be
not?
able to
No, I
though.
haven't told him. No.
Mate!
I should tell him, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
You should absolutely tell him. He'd love that.
yeah.
Do you know
I
what?
mean, not that I know him, but do you know what I
We're,
mean?
He's with.
we're
Can you
on
say
we're
it?
on the thingy. It's a yeah, we're on the yeah,
He's with him tomorrow,
we're on a
basically.
certain program tomorrow, so I'm gonna get to see him again. So
Tell him.
and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
Tough
you
to
You got
know
it.
tell
You got
him.
it. You got
you know
it.
we'll have
He's
to
feeling.
yeah.
I saw
So
him do an interview recently. I actually spoke to him about this new show Zero Day that he's done,
Yeah.
and he seems quite reflective at the minute. I don't know whether he's getting to a certain age, and he's got a little
yeah.
one as
Mm,
well at the minute.
mm.
And he was saying in something that he would love the opportunity to kind of almost just go back and watch loads of his old films. So, oh my God,
Oh,
you might make him cry if you tell him that,
Oh,
Stephen.
yeah.
oh.
I'll definitely tell him it's coming.
um,
You got it now, yeah.
this wonderful collaboration that you two clearly have in terms of kind of just really kind of working so brilliantly together and bringing the best out of each other and making that decision to shoot this show in the way, similar way that Boiling Point was done in terms of that one shot. It the physical experience that it gives us as viewers to the emotion and the journey is so fantastic. Thanks for putting in all that work. It's just so great. But what were the conversations about doing that and how it would work and if it would work and yeah, why you went down that route?
Well, with when we did Boiling Point, obviously it's one location and it's all, in the one location, it's one camera operator. We wanted to, first and foremost with a one take, it shouldn't, in my opinion, in our opinion, it should never be at the forefront. It should never be like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this amazing one take show or one take movie. Look at it, it should be an amazing drama that is shot in that way. And the reason why we sort of,
So
wanted to
you
do
forget
it,
that you
so you can forget that you're watching it. And also, you take an audience on a real-time journey
Yeah.
over the space of an hour. You almost, you dip the audience in for an hour in a moment in time, a slice of life, and then you pull them back out again. And it doesn't work with every genre. It doesn't work with every piece. But it became quite apparent that this story could be really, it could add to the story. We're so used to watching things with one eye on our phone, one eye on the telly. And if you go to a theater or a cinema, you're in it for 2 hours.
lock
Yeah.
in.
You lock in. You don't look at your phone. Some people
Yeah.
do, but so we wanted to sort of create something that has that effect on TV and makes the audience just sit up, pay attention, and also like be, it's almost like it's live and you're the only person experiencing it, and it's uncomfortable at times. And we hold on someone's face for that little bit too long, which makes the audience feel a bit, oh, I don't, and that was the idea, to create that extra layer of tension. The performances is first and foremost. The story obviously is the most important thing,
It becomes immersive, doesn't it?
but it becomes immersive.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, yeah. And like I say, we didn't ever want it to be a spectacle. It needs to be
No.
a sort of subconscious thing.
But it's so clever in the way that, it's with every episode, it's got a different
Feeling.
yeah, and relationship to the story and the characters, that kind of first episode where it's just the constant movement almost in a way. And
Yeah.
then you have that episode with Erin and Owen, which is, oh my God, just unbelievable piece of drama that. And also just when you're talking about kind of giving things time, there's a moment when he leaves the room and you
Yeah.
just give Erin a little bit of time to kind of, well, her character obviously to just sit with what she's just experienced and
Yeah.
heard and whatnot. And just that, I don't know how long it is, but it's that silence and just hearing and seeing and feeling her responses. It is so mammoth. It's amazing.
Yeah. because the audience are feeling the same thing as what she is.
Yeah,
And we want to you want to sit in that for a few beats,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's also about like the ebbs and flows. Like if you were 100 miles an hour for the whole thing, it wouldn't be an enjoyable watch. I mean, not saying it's an enjoyable watch, but it's
You wouldn't
it
have time to breathe, would you?
no,
Many days.
exactly.
yeah.
And yeah, we when we were watching watching some of the episodes back in the sound design, we set out a day, I think it was, to watch them all four of them back. And I'd seen it a million times. Steven's seen it but loads of times, and all of the producers. But we couldn't finish we
No,
got to episode three, end of episode three, and we were like, we're gonna have to come back because it's a
it's
lot
too much.
for even for us who knew what was coming next and
Yeah,
what was happening.
yeah. What's the prep for, in terms of
Mm.
both in terms of your amazing craftsmen and women, but then also behind the scenes, but then also, someone like Owen, who's this
Mm.
phenomenal talent that I've not, I don't know if it's the first thing he's ever done, but I
Yeah,
The
mean,
very first thing.
shut up. Oh
Yeah.
my
he'd never acted in his
God.
life.
Yeah, he's also
What?
he'd gone to a
Yeah,
drama club in Manchester a couple
yeah,
of times. That's all he's ever done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
I
But
know.
the confidence to have that he shows in particularly that episode with Erin is like,
Mm.
I mean, that's wow, that's totally blown my mind. That has that's. But how
Yeah.
do you prepare? How do you prepare him for it? How do you rehearse it? And then how many takes did you end up doing? Imagine it was different for every episode, really.
We would do like so per episode we gave ourselves 3 weeks, a block of 3 weeks. So the first week was the cast rehearsals. So it would be me and Matt, the cinematographer, Sarah, our first AD, and all the actors. And we'd sit and talk about it, and then we'd go through it all, and we'd just rehearse, and we'd block it, and we'd stop start, and then the second week would be a tech
But the
rehearsal.
beauty, though, going back to
Go
that
on.
first week, the beauty with that first week is you have an opportunity to really dissect the script.
Yeah,
Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So you have that wonderful ability because, look, if we had Jack there for like 3 days of that
Hmm.
beginning of the week,
mm,
so in the context of if Owen, and you want it to be as natural and as realistic as possible. So if Owen goes, I wouldn't really say that like that.
Yeah.
Me and Jack aren't teenage boys, you know what I mean? So you
Hmm.
go,
yeah,
okay, so how would you say it then, lad? And then he'll
Yeah,
he'll say, I'd say it like this.
yeah, yeah.
And you go, okay,
amazing.
so we have a wonderful opportunity then to really, really begin to construct the characters and understand the complexities between the relationships and what's going on, and have a look at the subtext. And that's where we kind of that's where we bed in as actors, and
Mm.
and along with Phil, our director. So then we're immediately we're the first. So we're that first team that's brought onto the pitch. Then do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's us. And then the second week we go.
We do tech rehearsals. So then all the actors at this point we've ran it a few times. So that's muscle memory kind of. And
yeah,
then we bring all of the crew on. Every single member of the team is now involved in the tech week. All of the SAs, the sporting artists, because everyone needs to be part of this dance. And so we've choreographed the camera moves, but the sound departments haven't seen it yet. So they need to know where to put their booms and
So all the crew are on.
everyone's on there in the second week.
Props and everything to make sure, like, so
Yeah.
because if I've got the cup and I'm like, all right, well, I need the cup there, won't I? And if I
We
yeah.
yeah,
did
so
we did miss
so
the cup
all of those
on
things,
one take.
the cup wasn't there on one
There
take.
was there
So
was
and
yeah.
and the door was shut as Matt was trying to back into the house.
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah.
oh shit, I can't go here because the door's shut.
Yeah.
So all of those things, the little intricacies of all of the
Yeah.
details that we need, we begin to bed that
Yeah.
in then, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
Well,
then on
even
the
going to go on, sorry.
no, I was going to
No,
say, but
no.
on the final week, the shoot week, we'd have 5 days and we'd shoot it twice every day. So
Wow.
we'd come in the morning, 10 o'clock, everyone would be on set. We would then turn over, we'd call action, and then we'd call cut an hour later, and then we go away for 3 hours, give
Everything gets
notes,
reset.
everything gets reset, and we do it again
But
from
again, in the
Wow.
same respect, look,
Wow.
Edith, you've been on sets, you know what it's like. But and look, and you know, I adore. I feel very privileged and extremely blessed to be able to do what I do. And it's a collaborative
Same.
process. Do you know what I mean? It really is. But within the context of this, it's such a collaborative process
Yeah.
because we're all in it together from
Yeah.
the very beginning. Do you know what I mean? And I compare it to footy. I love me footy, we're a footy team. Everyone has a part to play. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's integral. And that kind of collective energy that we bring together, we all have the same objective. We want to produce the best thing we possibly can. And
Yeah.
the moment he blows the whistle, do you know what I mean? From the very beginning, we have a little team talk, a little rally, and it's like,
Yeah.
right, come on, let's go. And we're all on the same page together. And it's a really kind of strange feeling because as an actor, I've never been so, and I don't want to sound pretentious, but I've never been so in the moment,
Yeah.
so present, and so, it's such a Zen feeling.
Yeah.
I compared it to the footy context because a lot of athletes call it being in the flow. Do you know what I mean? And it's just organic and it's just natural and you're just in that moment. It's very Zen, it's very mindfulness meditation in many ways
Yeah.
because we've just spent 2 weeks creating this wonderful dance
Yeah.
and knowing exactly what we're doing, and you know that Matt's going to be backing round that corner and you're still I'm still going to be coming through that front door, but yet I know he's going to get there at the time, and then it's just boom, and things just seem to click and click and click and
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful experience.
And within the show as well, this is when I asked to talk to you and stuff, they were like, "There's no music in the show, really," and I was like, "I don't care. I need to talk to them about the show."
Yeah.
I was like, "But there is
There is, yeah,
because
there is.
because
Yeah.
like that last episode, in terms of there's a song,
Yeah.
and that's like and it is a kind of is a little bit of an exhale kind of for the audience in a way. Do you know what I mean? In terms of just how, as a family, they are kind of pulling together, finding each other as in a kind of in a physical and an emotional way as well. But what were the kind of discussions around kind of music and that song and yeah,
That's that song, though. When I pass
yeah.
it over to him,
Go
because
on.
there's an absolute genius, and there's a beautiful thing that Phil came up with in an idea from the very beginning. And when I tell you this now, unless
Which
somebody
one are
else
you
ever
talking
tells
about?
it,
The last episode?
yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
song. Who sings the song?
Aurora.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the choice for that song,
What do you mean? No, you're talking about the choir bit.
with what's her name? No, with the thingy song. Yeah,
The choir in
yeah,
episode
but with
two.
her
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
on it.
no, yeah.
That's what I meant.
So
I meant
that
that one.
so okay, so the choir, yeah.
Huh?
So this is really apt for actually for this. Basically, the girl who plays Katie, Amelia, her name is.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her to have a presence throughout the whole show because she's
Mm-hmm.
never really seen or she's mentioned a
There's a
lot.
photograph of her in
There's
episode 2.
two photographs, one in one and one in two.
Yeah.
But I wanted her to be this ever presence. And so all of the music, that voice that you hear in the music in the soundtrack is her voice. And
Wow.
also at the very end of episode 2 with the choir, she is part of the choir, and the rest of the kids of the school that we filmed in, but the very singular voice at the end of that
Dun,
choir
dun, dun,
is her
dun, dun.
voice.
Yeah, that's
So
her
she's
voice.
the last thing you hear
So
in
it's a
episode 2.
ghost-like presence that is there. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Every hair on my arm just stood on end when you tell that story.
I haven't said
That's
that to many people really. We haven't really talked about
No.
that to anybody because, it was just something that really early on I was like, she needs to be in
The
this.
sense of her
yeah,
presence is
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
yeah,
His spirit then lives within
yeah,
it. Do you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing. What a beautiful way of doing that as well.
yeah.
Um, and
And it
then
just
what
so
about
happens she can sing.
phew?
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
God.
thankfully.
Can we
Yeah.
get the vocoder in, please, folks?
Oh.
And what about that choice of song in the van? That's kind of it's got memories for the
Oh,
yeah.
that song is literally following me around everywhere I go.
Yeah.
There was another track at one point, wasn't there? But then
Yeah, but it was like what it was what look, we had to think, right, all right, when we were kids at the school disco, what was banging on the dance floor?
yeah.
And it was our heart, you know what I mean?
Take
It
on
was
me.
all day long.
Yeah.
So good,
I
so
mean that
true.
I literally it follows me around that song now. I hadn't probably heard it, maybe subconsciously, but now it's like every radio station, every supermarket I go in, it's just there. It's just always there. Yeah,
But that's the thing when you think about each episode, like as a standalone thing, and how the kind of the how immersed you are in it. It's only afterwards that you kind of take a moment to kind of go, oh my God, like there's all the driving in that last episode and getting to that points and going into the, the sort of the B&Q home base sort of shop and all that kind of stuff. It's like the timing of all that. And yeah, it's just, I mean, bravo, just amazing work. So
thank
incredible.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you very
He never
much.
drove the van at all. We had someone on the roof actually driving the van.
Shut up.
Yeah.
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 We had to swap the vans out. So when he first comes out the house and you see that thing painted on the side of the van, you
Yeah.
see it's a normal van. When he goes back into the house, we have to do a quick swap with the van so it's the stunt van with someone in a go-kart seat literally
Driving from
driving
the
it.
top.
So he never and there's like a camera rig on the front on the stunt van. There wasn't one on the other one. So we had a clean van and then a stunt van.
Yeah.
But you'd never know.
Wow. The magic of
The
storytelling.
magic of storytelling.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
absolute magic of it as well. Um, oh, I mean, when I got the chance to chat to you very briefly about it at that thing a few weeks ago, it was so still present with me in terms of how it had kind of really physically, affected me. Being a mum of two boys, one
Mm,
12 and one 16, is kind of,
right.
you immediately kind of you're in you're in that story. You're there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You are those characters.
And that's it. Look, you saying that, honest to God, that means the world
Yeah, it
because
does, yeah.
you know we are our target audience.
Mm,
Anyone with children is our target audience, really. Do you know what I mean? Because
Mm,
it's that again, it's that being mindful of it, and it's kind of this came about. The idea came about because of an article I read in the paper, where a young boy had stabbed a young girl, and
yeah.
then a couple of months later, it was on the news, and there
mm,
was another incident where a young boy had stabbed a young girl, and I just thought, what's going on? And it really hurt my heart, if I'm honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
It was painful, and it was
Mm,
like, what's happened to our society that this can be the case, that
mm,
this is now thing. It hasn't happened just once
mm.
or twice. It's like three, four, five times that this is happening, and that kind of concept of, that lovely saying, it takes a village to raise a child.
yeah.
Well, then it's kind of, we're not pointing the blame at anyone specifically at all. We're just
No.
going, look, maybe we're all slightly accountable here. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? From the side of it of parents, the school,
Hmm.
society as a whole, the government. Do you know
Mm,
what I mean?
mm.
Maybe they can
Social
bring
media. Yeah.
legislations in,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
social media,
yeah.
and the community itself. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, let's all have a look. Let's all have a look at this, and
Mm,
let's all tackle this problem as a collective, because it's not one person. Because as well, what happened was, I'm 51. I've kind of got myself together a little bit now. Do you know what I mean? Every day's a school day and all that, and I get that.
Mm,
But even when I heard that, when I watched the story on the news, I remember that little judgmental part of me just went, it's got to be the parents. And then I went, whoa, hang on, stop it,
yeah.
you. Don't be so
mm,
judgmental. What if it's nothing to do with the parents?
mm.
Yeah.
And then when me and Phil talked about it and discussed it, that was the story we wanted to tell.
Yeah.
That it wasn't the parents per se, it was everything
Mm.
that
Yeah.
was part of it. Do you
It's
know what I
why
mean?
it's a why done it, not a who done
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just before we finish, I'm really thoroughly enjoying A Thousand Blows as well, Stephen. It's
It's
brilliant.
epic, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, it's
cheers. Thank
so
you.
great. Erin again, it's like it's great. It's like just gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I love that. Am I right in thinking that Hannah kind of sort of started that whole ball rolling?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
What a
massively.
legend.
Yeah, I don't know. She's the
She
nuts,
is a
isn't she? She's
legend.
the
She is
Yeah.
a legend.
my missus is the nuts. Yeah, she did. We got sent a photograph and a couple of paragraphs. It was a photograph of Hezekiah himself
Mm,
from back in the day, and we looked at it and we just thought, wow, I've never seen. I didn't even know that, a photograph of a black man
Mm,
in that particular era and that time who looked
yeah.
so regal, so full of grace, so full of
Mm,
dignity, full of humility and pride. I've never seen that before. Do you know what I mean? And then she just went, I know who's going to do this. And I was like, well, who? And she went, I'm going to get Steve Knight to write
yeah.
this. And I was like, oh, all right, love, yeah, whatever.
If anyone can get Steve Knight to do it, it's Hannah.
And she did, you know,
Yeah.
she managed to
Yeah.
achieve that. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. The other thing is it's completely different
Yeah.
from this. Do you know what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
other end of the spectrum. It's like what I was saying before. It's that kind of entertainment side of it. It's a kind of bigger show kind of thing in many aspects. It's the realism of that particular time. And again, it's a working class drama, really,
Yeah.
because these are all people trying to survive, and you know,
Mm.
in that time and in that era,
Well,
it's
that's
a lot
kind
of
of
fun.
that's what's so wonderful about, kind of watching your choices, as an actor and whether that's bringing something from, from like seed element, or whether it's just, playing a role and things like that, and the variety of things that you do. And can't wait to see you as Springsteen's dad as well.
Oh
That's going
my
to be,
God.
Yeah.
mate. Oh my God.
Tickets for life, he said, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm gonna go and watch it
I
now.
Ticket.
love that man.
I'm,
Oh my
I'm,
God.
you've got to bring me to that.
Do you know what?
When is it? Because if I'm
I
working,
can't remember. It's at Anfield. I'll let you know.
I'm there. I've got to
Are you
go.
going
But
to
I'm definitely
Anfield?
going.
I'll see you
Yeah, I'm going
there.
Yeah.
to Anfield.
Oh,
Are you gonna go? Are
amazing.
you going to Anfield as well?
Totally.
He's
He's so amazing. Had this weird thing in lockdown where he made that record, and Tom Zimney made this beautiful kind of companion film. And they got in
Oh
touch and
yeah.
said, would you mind doing like a remote chat with him? I'm like, yeah. And then kind of
Wow.
since then, every time he's had something, I kind of get the call kind of going, can you come and chat to Bruce kind of thing? I'm like, hold on a second. Yeah.
Stop
and
everything.
isn't he so lovely?
Oh, I
He's
just want to
so
go for
humble.
Christmas.
Yeah. No, I know, and he's got such humility. Because look, I mean, I got asked to play it, and it was the director, Scott Cooper, who phoned me and said, "Look, would you?" Because he'd been wanting to work with me for a while. We've been trying to get, and it didn't quite work in the past because I was doing other things and blah blah blah. And anyway, he said, "Look," he said, "I really want you to play this role." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "When I've wrote it." Because he wrote the script. He said, when I've wrote it with you in mind. He said, it's not a
Oh,
huge role.
mate.
I know he said it's not a huge role, but it's integral to the thing. And I was like, okay. And he went, it's to play Bruce's dad. And I was like, what? Yeah, I'd love to. And then what I did was, because there wasn't loads to take from the book,
Mm.
from the book or from not from the book, from the script, but I listened to Bruce's audio book,
Oh yeah.
and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But what he
He
did
narrates
was,
it, doesn't he?
yeah, he
Yeah.
narrates it. And then when I got onto set and I met him for the first time, I was like, and he was wonderful. He was wonderful, and he loved this as England as well, which I was blown away by.
Mm.
And
Wow.
we had a lovely little conversation. And I said to him, I said, are you aware that when you speak about your dad in your book, you kind of change the tone of your voice and you take on this persona?
Mm.
And he was like, really? I said, yeah. And I said, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just basically mimic that sound and that persona that you do, and inhabit it and try and create my own character.
Oh, he was like characterizing his dad.
Yes, yeah. And he
Ah.
went, oh wow. And then I did it,
Wow.
and it was just lovely. And I'll tell you what, right? I'll share this with you. He sent me the most gorgeous text I've ever had in my life,
Mm.
because I play his dad when his dad's like, I play him in the 80s, and I get,
Hmm.
thankfully I get to do a scene with Jeremy Allen White, who's
How weird is that
Oh,
though?
he's
Spoiler points in the
chef.
wonderful.
bear crossed over.
The three chefs. But I'm telling you now, working with him is like kind of working with the presence of Al Pacino and De Niro back in the day.
Yeah. Really?
He's marvelous. That fella's
Oh my
he's
God.
unbelievable. He's brilliant. But he's a wonderful
Did you
man
do a
as
scene
well.
with him?
Yeah, but because I play his dad when
Oh,
he's
later
in,
as
he's
well.
in the 80s,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
had to
yeah,
have
yeah.
prosthetics.
Oh yeah.
So I did this. That was when I did that funny Scout thing,
Yeah, yeah,
misrepresentations. So
yeah.
I simply made some videos of
So,
this funny Scout because I had the prosthetics on. I turned him into like Fat Albert or something
from the
like that.
markets.
Yeah, from the market there, selling all the Crimbo deckies and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was dead serious. And we did this scene, and it was a really beautiful little scene. It was lovely, but I had to get the flight, so I had to rip the prosthetics off, and then I'm bang bang, I'm in the car, and I'm going and we're racing to get to the airport, and I got this text, and his text was so beautiful. It just said, better than any award that I could ever receive in my
Oh,
life, because he's an icon, he's a
Yeah,
hero.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's a working class hero. He's an icon to thousands, to
mm.
millions.
Mm.
And his text just said, "Thank you so much." My father passed away a while ago, and I felt like I saw him today. And thank you for giving me that memory. And I was crying reading
Yeah,
the text.
yeah.
Do you know what I
That
Oh,
mean?
mate.
Because it was
Oh,
doesn't get any
beautiful.
better.
You couldn't ask for anything more. To be able
no.
to share that with someone was gorgeous. Yeah, he's
Oh,
a
well,
lovely man.
yeah,
He's a
lovely, lovely
lovely
man.
fella.
I literally cannot wait to see that
Yeah,
film.
he's top top.
Well, I'll see you there. Listen,
Yes,
it's so great to chat to you both, and you know,
you too.
you've done such an incredible job with this show, Adolescence. It's so important, as well as
Thank you.
being
Thank you.
beautifully crafted and played and put together and thoughtfully told. So thank you so much for your time. It's really great to
Thank
chat
you.
to
Thank
you.
you.
Have a lovely day.
You
See you
too.
too.
later.
See you
Lovely
Bye,
to
soon.
speak
guys.
to you.
See ya. You
Bye.
too. Bye,
Bye.
guys.